everyone. Welcome to the show. Support comes from ZBiotics. Let me tell you about this stuff. It has become part of my routine, and if I'm heading out for a night with friends, it is called pre-alcohol, and it was created by real PhD scientists to help you feel better the morning after drinking. So when you drink, our bodies create this toxic byproduct right in the gut, and it's that buildup. It's not dehydration, as everybody thinks. That's what makes the next day feel rough. ZBiotics pre-alcohol helps break that down while you sleep. So I tried it before dinner with friends recently, and for the first time, as a matter of fact, just one small little bottle for my first drink, and then I drank responsibly, and the next morning I was up, ready to do the show, getting my coffee or my tea together, and I went through my day without missing a beat. So make the most of your celebrations this season and bring pre-alcohol with you. Go to zbiotics.com/lemon for 15% off of your first order with the code LEMON, and it is backed by a 100% money-back guarantee. Okay? Head to zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON for 15% off. Good morning, lemon heads. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the program. It's Hot Topics, 10 a.m. Eastern time here on the Don Lemon Show. Don, yes, I am in the Delta Lounge. I'm traveling. I'm working for you guys. This is good. Oh, shoot, my little tea bag thing in there. By the way, check it out. This is our new holiday mug that you can get. But it's good. I'm feeling better. I think my cold is on the mend. Let me know where you are. I am in Chicago heading back to New York today. So wish me luck traveling. It's cold here. There was a messy weather day yesterday. Hello from Northern Virginia. Boy, again, I'm telling you guys, if you missed the show in Philadelphia, you missed out. If you missed the two that were last night in Chicago, you completely missed out. We had a time last night. Check us out, D.L. Hughley and I, at the City Winery in Chicago. It was so much. We had two shows, and both shows were different than each other. The audiences, I don't know if you've ever performed live or been a part of a performance or anything like this. Thank you. Hey, Katie, lovely to meet you last night. And thank you, Katie. I think this is your, well, you wanted me to get some tea for, because you said you hated that I use tea bags. I think that's the same Katie. But Katie, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. So last night was fun. That was D.L. Hughley and I. If you ever been, the audience and the energy was completely different for both shows. And look who's sitting on the stage with us. Person sitting on the stage with us is the mayor. Our special guest last night was the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. He was such a delight. Such a nice man, such a smart man. Audience energy is different, and it makes a difference. Yeah, it does. You can tell. The mayor was serious. He was funny. He was affable. He was glib. It was just really a great, easy time. And we talked about some really tough issues last night. People are really feeling the anxiety. Love seeing you last night too, all right. And wasn't it a great show? I mean, tell everybody, tell the Lemonheads, you're missing out because you get to really see our community come together as a community. And that's real people who are friends and who like each other. Pardon me for this. And we talk about, sorry, I should hit the mute button, and we talk about issues that are important to your lives. And everybody knows that they're being played by this administration. That's no secret for anybody. And there is, again, so a couple of different shows. We had two different shows last night. And some of the Lemonheads were there. We have any pictures for them? Some of the folks that were there. Hi, this is, oh my gosh, I don't have my phone with her.
Janine.
Janine?
Yeah.
Janine. Janine, she took the Lemon Live shirt and she bedazzled it with like, what is that? It's either pearls or rhinestones. It is so cool what she did. So anyways, I took this selfie. I said, I'm going to put this on. So thank you, Janine. I really appreciate that. Who else is there? Any other folks? This is some of the folks that we're going to meet and greet afterwards.
Yeah, Fagina Brown from Chicago.
Hi, Fagina Brown from Chicago. Thank you for coming last night. I remember her. Anybody else?
La Marie.
La Marie. Oh, I think she said it was El Marie.
El Marie.
I think she said L. It's L apostrophe Marie, right?
Yes.
She had a question. I read one of her questions last night, and then I know her name because she corrected me because I said La Marie. What else?
That's it from last night, but
That's it. I told
yeah.
folks to send your stuff in. Anyway, so it was great last night. We have to discuss. Please hit the like and hit the thumbs up, and because it does affect the algorithm. More people become aware of our conversation and our channel, and it's very important. But I want to start, and I just want to talk to you about the President of the United States. I know that, the mainstream media won't say this. They're afraid to go there so much, but I think it's time we start really examining what's happening with this man. He is often befuddled, confused, angry, lashing out, all of those things. And one has to wonder, I think it is fair. He brings up the issue of cognitive decline, Joe Biden, right? And not really in the way he does it about himself, where he jokes about his cognitive tests. Why is he having so many cognitive tests? Why is he forgetting people's name? Why is he lashing out at reporters? Why does he seem so angry? I mean, it's worse than like the old man who lives across the street or next door, down the block, old man Johnson. I mean, this is old man Trump, and something is going on with him. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Dr. Frieda is going to be here in minutes to talk to us about this and what she knows. She is the expert. So I want to get into this, and I want to talk about, I want you to take a look, and if you can get the thumbnail for me. And so good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. So I want you to take a look at this thumbnail that's for the show. And in the thumbnail, the president has his eyes shut. He has his chin down. He's the president of the United States. And he is sitting there like he is auditioning for a sleep study instead of running the country. And everyone is saying, oh, he's just not interested. I'm like, no, he's asleep. And in bright yellow, we have full mental malfunction because something is up. I know somebody's already out there clutching their pearls, and there are people, especially if you're a Trump supporter, and they're saying, Don, you're being mean. You don't know that you're exaggerating. You can't say that. Well, we can say that because he brings up the issue all the time. And let me be clear, I am not diagnosing anybody. I'm just telling you what the entire nation is watching in real time. And I have eyes. Remember, I was a guy who asked Karine Jean-Pierre about Joe Biden's ability. And when I did that, I got so much praise from people all over conservative media saying, yeah, Don Lemon, finally, someone is speaking the truth. Let's see if you say the same thing about this for Donald Trump. And not that I was questioning Joe Biden's mental capacity. He had brought up his own age in a press conference, and I was responding to that to Karine Jean-Pierre. Because Donald Trump has spent years mocking everybody else's age, their mental capacity, calling people dumb. He called me the dumbest man on television. He mocked Joe Biden for walking slowly, and he mocked him for tripping. He mocked him for forgetting things, and he turned mental fitness into a political weapon. So now we are going to examine him. You tell me if you think he's cooked. So the spotlight has swung back around. Now, I just want to show you this. We're going to show the president walking. Okay. So this is Donald Trump. We'll show the one. This is him walking to Marine One. And Melania is clearly helping him here. You don't notice it in normal speed that much. A little bit. She keeps pushing him in the right direction, and he keeps veering back over, that he's having trouble like walking in a straight line. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've noticed it. I did. So why don't we do this, Andy? Back it up, and then if you play it and you can see it better if you speed it up a little bit. See, it keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then at the summit, check it out. See that? Oops. Whoop, 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 whoop. And then at the summit with Putin, remember, in Alaska, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So he wants to talk. I mean, what is going on there? Suddenly, this man who has made age a political football cannot handle being held to the same standard here. So let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about what we are all seeing. And he needs to be held, he's made it a political football, he needs to be held to the same standard. Let's talk about what we're all seeing. You know who is seeing it? And this is a bit long. I want you to get into it and buckle down. We're going to learn here. We're going to put this out there in the way that corporate and mainstream media will not put it out there. Are they hiding something? Do they know something we don't? Why so many cognitive tests? Robert Reich, with an explainer. I may come in a little bit to talk about it. It is long, but I want you to listen. Everybody buckle up. Here we go.
Donald Trump is showing signs of dementia.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Why is the media barely reporting on this? And why won't they ask who's really making the decisions in the White House?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you imagine if President Biden or any other politician made a claim like this?
Now drug prices are going to be going down 100%, 400%, 600%, 1,000% in some cases.
Prices cannot go down more than 100%. That's not how math works. But Trump's fantastical claims have gotten more and more unhinged.
AOC's low IQ. Have her pass the exams that I take.
This is especially troubling given that he is the oldest president ever to be sworn in and has a family history of Alzheimer's. His growing confusion has alarmed psychologists like this former Johns Hopkins professor.
There are times when he's really unable to complete a thought.
I've been looking at those things with the little gray. They're always broken.
Actually, sometimes is unable to complete a word.
The FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of acetaminophen.
It's called a phonemic paraphasia. There's dozens of examples. They're online.
Fake infrastructure, cryptologic pergovarius.
Trump also seems to be confused about when he was president. He falsely claimed in a post that the Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. Hello? Biden wasn't president.
Come on, folks.
And Trump keeps claiming that the Epstein files were a hoax created by his predecessors.
These files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden,
Even though the arrest and demise of Trump's close friend, Jeffrey Epstein, happened during Trump's own first term. Trump is increasingly befuddled about who everyone around him is. He didn't seem to know who House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries was after he'd just been meeting with him.
Even on the discussion that we'll have with Chuck Schumer, who was here yesterday, along with a very nice gentleman who I didn't really know. You know who I'm talking about.
Trump has become unable to stay on topic.
Okay, pause,
During
please.
recent cabinet.
So also he's going to talk about a recent cabinet meeting, but he also called Susie Wiles, who's his chief of staff, Susie Trump. You remember he got Nancy Pelosi confused with, was it Nikki Haley? Like all of these things. And he can't keep a train of thought. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He often rambles. And so, this is problematic. And you saw him in these recent cabinet meetings falling asleep. People tried to make excuses and say, and then he says, oh, my schedule, I'm so busy, whatever. Okay, fine. But then don't pretend that you are not Sleepy Don. You are Sleepy Don. If you can call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, you are Sleepy John, because you are, I don't know, did you guys ever see Joe Biden falling asleep in a cabinet meeting? I don't remember. Perhaps he did, but I don't remember that. But I have seen our current president falling asleep in cabinet meetings. And then also saying the most unhinged, vile things and answering reporters in ways that you would, if that was, you'd be like, Grandpa, don't say that. That's what's happening. Keep going.
Meeting, he went on a 15-minute rant about picture frames and lamps. I'll spare you from having to watch it in full, but
I love the frame of those pictures. Look at those frames. By the way, it's an incredible clock. Oftentimes they'll show those lamps. I said, oh, wow. Medallions. If you paint it, it won't look good.
Trump's ramblings have become so incoherent that the White House has started covering up for him by deleting transcripts of his remarks from their website. But they cannot hide his mental deterioration and growing paranoia.
The word affordability is a con job by the Democrats.
Recently, he was so mad about an
Pause, please.
escalator.
I want to talk to you about the word affordability being a con job, because remember that whole thing, that the whole reason he had this rally is because his staff said, Mr. President, your unfavorable numbers are high and your favorability is really low. You got to get out there amongst the people. Let's have a rally so we can change the narrative and the message. People are not buying the economy. And you cannot go out there saying that affordability is a hoax. What does he do? The first thing he does is he gets out there and he says, affordability is a hoax by Democrats. My staff has told me that I cannot say it. And they're all going, oh my gosh. And then he makes fun of it. And then people start walking out of that rally. Okay, don't get it twisted. First of all, it was not highly attended. People started walking out of the rally and talking to reporters saying, this guy just doesn't get it. The president is wrong. I am a supporter of his, but he's clearly wrong about this. My money doesn't go as far as it used to. There was even one person who spoke that night and said as much. And then they got back to the White House and they said, sir, you got to stop calling it a hoax. We told you that. And then he was in the meeting yesterday in the Oval Office and said, you really have to give me some time when it comes to the economy. Because he realizes that he's below water in polling. And he's scared. And something is up. Something is going on with this man. When people are under pressure, that's usually when they lash out and start calling names. And it's like, why are you taking your anxiety and your frustration, and your anger out on me? That's what it seems like he's doing. Keep going.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator stopped right in the middle.
He claimed it was sabotaged by the UN and called for a Secret Service investigation. Paranoia,
But it's really a Democrat hoax.
and anger are common symptoms of dementia. So is a loss of impulse control.
Donald Trump accuses members of Congress of sedition and says it's punishable by death.
All have become cornerstones of Trump's second term.
Pause.
Trump
So Donald Trump says if you criticize his fitness, that it is seditious. Am I seditious? Are you? Is this sedition? Part of the Constitution, the first part, the main part of the Constitution, the number 1 amendment says that we freedom of speech, freedom of expression. That's the whole part of a democracy in America, is to be able to criticize our leaders and our government. That's why the libel and slander laws, the bar is so high with a public official and with political people and with politicians. Because Americans are free to criticize, to examine, to wonder about the people that they have elected to office. And he is saying that if you even question his mental capacity, that it is seditious, that it is punishable by death. What the hell is that? Keep going.
Appears to have accidentally posted a private message to his attorney general on social media, ordering her to target his political opponents, including former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Trump has also pressured TV networks to fire comedians who poke fun at him.
You'd think the guy who fathered Eric and Don Jr. would know how to handle jokes.
And has insisted that criticism of him is not free speech.
When somebody is given 97% of the stories are bad about a person, that's no longer free speech.
And he
Okay,
ordered
pause.
troops to
Okay, here's what gets me about that. Maybe 97% of the stories are bad about you because what? Because you're doing bad stuff. Maybe it's because you're not doing what's right and you're not listening to the American people. You're not following the law. You are not listening to federal judges, defying them, that you are picking people up, rounding them up without due process on the streets. Maybe it's because people want affordable health care and you're shutting the government down and you're trying to get rid of something they like, Obamacare, which is the Affordable Care Act. So maybe that's why. And maybe it's because, in part, because you are, instead of answering the reporter's questions, you are attacking them. And therefore, they have to go with the attack because you're not giving them the answer. It's just that simple. But maybe he doesn't understand because something's up. Keep going.
An imaginary war in Portland, Oregon, a decision he reportedly made because he was confused by a Fox News clip from 5 years ago that crossed his television screen.
On Sunday morning, Trump told NBC, well, wait a minute. Am I watching things on television that are different from what's happening?
Yes.
Are Trump's acts those of a sane person or of an aging, paranoid megalomaniac? Trump's cabinet could invoke the 25th Amendment to remove him from office. Instead, Stephen Miller, Russell Vought, J.D. Vance, and RFK Jr. seem to be feeding into Trump's paranoid delusions to increase their own power and advance their own fanatical agendas. A person suffering dementia can be a danger to themselves and others.
The windmills are driving the whales crazy.
In the most tragic cases, they can be manipulated and taken advantage of by unscrupulous relatives or caretakers. Is this what's happening in the White House? We must demand that the media fully investigate and tell the truth about Trump's deteriorating mental state and expose any handlers who are exploiting it.
The president is unhinged. He is unwell. What are you doing?
A lot of folks on your side are too. I don't control.
Oh my God.
Please help spread the word by sharing this video.
What part of your body was the MRI looking at?
I have no idea.
And we have spread that for you. Thank you, Dr. Wright. We appreciate it. Now I want to talk to an expert about this. And remember, I am not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing Donald Trump, but I'm just telling you what I see with my own eyes and I hear with my own ears. Same way I did with Joe Biden, same way I did with every single president that I've covered, from at least when I was doing national news, from George Bush to Barack Obama, to Donald Trump, to Joe Biden, to Donald Trump. And before that, Bill Clinton, whoever it was that I was reporting on. Okay? So I'm going to bring in a moment. Dr. Frieda is here. And Dr. Frieda is an expert. Dr. Frieda, hello. Welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get a word in on our sponsors, and then you are going to give us some expert opinion right after this word. Support comes from Ollie. If you've ever watched this show, you know how much I love my doggies, Boomer, Barkley, and Gus Gus. They run the house. And like any dog parent, I just want them to be healthy and happy. And that's why I switched them to Ollie. Their meals are fresh packed with protein and made with real human great ingredients. And let me just tell you, Boomer is the really picky one, but he cleans his bowl when it is Ollie. Ollie works with vet nutritionists to create slow-cooked recipes that dogs love, and they customize a plan based on your dog's needs. And on the app, you can even talk to real experts if you have questions about anything from diet to digestion. So since switching, I've noticed that they both have more energy. Gus Gus as well, our senior dog. Barkley's coat even looks shinier. Your dog's well-being starts with their food. So give Ollie a try. Go to ollie.com/lemon and use the code lemon for 60% off of your welcome kit. They even offer a happiness guarantee on your first box. Okay? The Ollie, go to ollie.com/lemon, OLLIE.com/lemon. We are sponsored today by Incogni. Look, thousands of companies that you have never heard of are collecting and selling your personal data every single day. Your phone number, your home address, even your shopping habits, and you don't even have to give them permission to do it. Well, I checked how many data brokers have my information, and it was shocking to me. And with all these delivery scams going around, the click this link, your package couldn't be delivered, messages, all of those, it makes you realize how exposed we all are. That's where Incogni comes in. They do the work of getting your personal data removed from these sites. And with their unlimited plan, you can request removal from as many databases as you want. They reach out to the brokers, they demand deletion, they handle everything. So take control of your privacy. Go to incogni.com/DonLemon and use the code DonLemon for 60% off. They can't misuse your data if they can't find it. So get 60% off at incogni.com/DonLemon, INCOGNI.com/DonLemon. Okay, so thank you for that. Let's make sure. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't muted. Good. You see I'm working Dr. Frida. I'm
Not working for a
working.
living.
I'm in the airport. Dr. Frida is a triple board certified nephrologist and a medical expert in internal medicine, pediatrics, and obesity medicine. She does a live stream, on her YouTube channel every Monday at noon Eastern time on trending medical topics in the headlines and celebrity health. This is in the headlines. So, doctor, I want to talk about this because right now we have a 79-year-old president who falls asleep in cabinet meetings, not tired, not resting his eyes, asleep, his head down, his eyes closed, jolt, awake. And we have seen, just like we see in an older relative, but this seems to be much more serious, and it seems to be advancing. As you are watching as a doctor, take us through this. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that if you go through and you look at dementia and you go through the signs and symptoms checklist, we are all seeing it live and on stage from President Donald Trump. We know that dementia has memory loss, but not just that. And we've seen him have trouble with word finding, forgetting names, forgetting meeting with people who are really large and well-known names, people whom he should know. He's forgotten them. There's also issues with judgment. We've seen him have poor judgment, and judgment that makes him think it's okay to say things like quiet piggy, judgment that makes him think it's okay to talk to Somalian supporters and call them garbage or say that they come from garbage. His judgment is off as the leader of the free world. You also, with dementia, will have impulse control losses, and certainly we've seen that with him, where he does things that just really don't seem like they have controlled thought processes. Oh, and then tangential thought. Being on stage, you're supposed to be talking about one thing, and then you start talking about McDonald's, and then you talk about the Gulf of America, going off into tangents. The other thing that's very important, Don, is when we think about the risk factors for dementia. Of course, being over the age of 65, and we know that he's 79 years old, also family history. President Donald Trump.
It's a history of Alzheimer in his family, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. His dad, Fred Trump Sr., had Alzheimer's, diagnosed in 1991, and he struggled with it till he passed away in 1999. And so we're seeing signs and symptoms real time. We know he has various risk factors, and he still had that MRI, and he has not revealed what it is, unless he has, because we know he told that reporter, I don't know what my MRI was from. It wasn't my brain because I passed the cognitive test, which is something you could never do. So, they used to say a hit dog will holler. It sounds like it could have been a brain MRI. And if we're seeing it, Don, his cabinet, his family, everyone around him is seeing it also.
They're seeing it as well. I want to play this. This is what you're talking about, the MRIs and all of that. First, let's play the MRI. This is the MRI thing.
What part of your body was the MRI looking at?
I have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing.
What? I mean, he wouldn't know. He doesn't know. I mean, can you imagine if they asked Joe Biden that? And I mean, what is? I wasn't of the brain because I know. Please, what are you seeing and hearing when you see this?
It's all ridiculous. Of course, he would know what the MRI was for, unless his cognitive decline is even worse than I think. But the other thing, it goes to judgment. If you're dealing with 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and you say, hey, did someone take something from the kitchen? A 3-year-old might say, it wasn't me and I didn't take a cookie, because they don't have the judgment to know that they're telling on themselves. It feels like he's doing that in that moment. And so people don't just get MRIs for fun or just random, especially not the president of the United States of America. So it feels like they're really definitely trying to hide what that MRI was from. And he seems to be very sensitive, because I don't know who's doing the counting, but he's mentioned getting acing this cognitive test more times than I can remember. And so it really sounds like he's calling attention to something that we all see related to his memory.
Do you remember, I mean, this was just recently when he was asked about what he said about Venezuela, and he said, you would release the report, right? You would release the report, and then he doesn't release the report. He's like, I never said that. And I mean, he had just said it, I believe, like 3 to 5 days before.
Yes.
Let me play it, and I want to get your response. Here it is.
President, you released video of that first boat strike on September 2nd, but not the second video. Will you release video of that strike so that the American people can see for themselves what happened?
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release. No problem.
You said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
Yeah, and kudos to that journalist. Was that Rachel Scott? Because
no, she's one of the great. She's from ABC, and she's a very brilliant black woman, black reporter. I mean, just a reporter. She happens to be black, but she didn't fall. She didn't take the bait.
Exactly. She stood strong, and she repeated what he said, and she stood up to him, which is something to be said because we know that he's had quite the history with female journalists, black female journalists. Oh, he just loves to insult them. But yes, he forgot. Now, we do know that he has a history of not telling the truth, and he will lie purposefully with impunity. But it really felt like he forgot the way that he said it so emphatically. And if so, then that's another one of those signs, memory loss, which could be consistent with dementia. Regardless of his diagnosis, I'm not his doctor, I don't know. Regardless of that, what I can say is that he is displaying signs of dementia day by day. What his diagnosis is, hey, maybe the MRI will tell us. But regardless, he's got several signs and symptoms, several risk factors. And so it's something I'm certainly suspicious of, that he has dementia.
Why so many cognitive tests that he seems to be so proud of? And it's not a good, I don't think it's a good look for him to have a 79-year-old president bragging about the number of cognitive tests that he has, and that he passed all of these tests with flying colors. I mean, it's just sort of brings more attention to it. Why so many cognitive tests?
It brings more attention. The cognitive tests are likely because there are suspicions or worries that he has cognitive decline. You don't just do cognitive tests for someone who is not displaying symptoms. And the fact that he doesn't seem to know that, and that he's bragging on these tests that are very simple to people who do not have dementia, who do not have cognitive decline, he's bragging on them as if he's taking a neurosurgery board certification, as if he's taking the LSAT or some major examination. These are simple tests that people with normal memory, normal cognitive function can pass. So this gets back to that judgment part of it, Don. I feel like he doesn't have the proper judgment to know that he's making himself look a bit silly by passing, if he's passing, because to my knowledge, those tests have not been released to us. If he's passing those tests, he doesn't understand really how rudimentary it is. It's not impressive. And so his judgment by bragging on those tests is off. And I'm just thinking about more signs and symptoms. Even sometimes the way you get a loss of visual spatial memory if you have dementia. And I'm thinking back to when he was on a trip overseas. It might have been to Japan, and one of the women there was kind of grabbed him by the elbow to guide him, and sometimes when he's getting off.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, we have it. Yeah.
Do you see that? Yes.
So if you sense that someone is kind of getting a little bit lost or their spatial awareness is off, that could be another sign of dementia. Or if they're getting off of Air Force One and walking in a way that's not a straight line, but almost meandering or wandering instead of going directly, another potential sign and symptom. Again, I'm not his doctor, but these are signs of dementia. And Donald Trump is displaying them on a daily basis. Not to mention, looks like they're cutting his schedule a bit short. He likes to brag about all of his stamina, but his days are shorter and shorter. And he's presenting himself in front of crowds that are very Donald Trump friendly, mostly, where he's not having to be sharp, not having to be ready with any kind of comebacks. So, yeah.
I want to ask you just real quickly. I wanted to ask you about, I sometimes older people, especially if they are exhibiting some of these things and their world is shrinking, or they feel like they're being attacked, they start attacking, even if you're just asking them a normal question. I've seen it with relatives who are senior people. I want to play this when he calls a reporter piggy. Watch.
So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase.
Sir,
Yeah,
if
Jennifer,
there's
go ahead.
nothing
Go ahead.
incriminating in the file,
Venezuela,
sir,
Quiet, McGee.
Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings.
Okay, so that, and calling Ilhan Omar garbage and yelling at reporters saying that they're dumb and they're stupid, and which network do you work for? And then so does that say, because he just seems to be really angry and defensive?
He does. He does. And another sign of dementia, personality changes, psychological changes, having paranoia, having anger, all fall into being signs of dementia. And can we go back to the judgment again? If I were going to call someone piggy, which I would not, I would make sure that I'm slim and trim with 18% body fat, but that's an aside.
Dr. Frida, don't you specialize in obesity?
Tell him, give me a call.
I was just like, because you told us about his cankles or the big ankles. That's obesity and heart issues, right? And right,
it could be. I don't know what it is in him.
It could be, yeah. But there was a
signs that could be consistent.
Thank you, Dr. Frida. I know that you have a very busy day. We appreciate you taking time out for us. So now take time out for your patients. Because they're in really good hands. Thank you, Dr. Frida. Make sure you tune in to Dr. Frida's broadcast. She does a live stream on her YouTube channel every Monday at noon Eastern time on trending medical topics, in the headlines, and celebrity health. Dr. Frida Show. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. We appreciate it. So look, why is the media not covering this the way that they should? And, maybe there's perhaps some people who want to, or I don't know how much they're doing it, but I don't hear it enough. We heard a lot about Joe Biden. We're not hearing as much about Donald Trump. What is going on? We'll discuss more. A word from our sponsors. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Graza, the freshest single origin olive oil out there. I love this stuff. And honestly, olive oil makes the perfect holiday gift. It's better than socks. Everyone uses olive oil, but not everyone has olive oil this fresh. Graza bottles everything in the same season. The olives are picked and pressed and harvested that same season all together. You can even see the date on the bottle. They've got great ready-to-get gift sets. I love the new dinner party pack. It comes with a limited edition bottle of wine, cooking oil, finishing oil, a custom corkscrew, and these amazing Evo potato chips. Or you can grab the Duo gift set in either squeeze bottles or glass, either one. Graza just makes everything taste better, and it looks great on the counter. Right now, you can get 20% off of your first order. Go to graza.co/Don and use the code DON for 20% off. Again, graza.co/Don. Support for today's show comes from MSI Reproductive Choices. They provide contraception, safe abortion, and essential reproductive health care in 36 countries, often in places where they are the only provider. And this year has been devastating for women and girls around the world. Programs are being cut. Clinics are closing. Options are really disappearing right now. But MSI is still standing because people stepped up when government funding fell through, including the $15 million they lost after the first Trump administration. And those donations have kept millions of women from losing access to health care and to hope. So if you believe women deserve choices and deserve control over their futures, here's how you can help. Text LEMON to 511-511 or go to msiunitedstates.org. For $65, you can provide contraception for 10 women for a full year. Text LEMON to 511-511 or visit msiunitedstates.org to give. Thanks to our sponsors. Okay, so thank you to our sponsors, absolutely. So here's what we have, okay? We have a president who forgets what he said days earlier. He told the country that he was going to release the full Venezuela boat strike video. You saw that. And then last week, he denied he ever said it, as though it was not on tape. And he said it on tape. We have a president calling his advisor, Susie Wiles, the wrong name, Susie Trump. We have him telling Americans struggling with food and rent that affordability is a hoax, he says. And imagine saying that to people who are living the crisis every single day. Where are the books? Where are the articles from the mainstream organizations? The New York Times wrote I thought, a really good takeout on the president's possible issues, on his forgetfulness, on his lashing out. It was a very good article. I think I sent it to you, Andy, but anyway, if you want to put it up. We have him insulting reporters, asking which outlet they are from, and then firing back with immature attacks like Quiet Piggy. We've showed you the evidence. When I said that Donald Trump back in 2018 on CNN, when I said the president of the United States was racist, I went on to give you the evidence of all of that. I went on to give you the information to support what I was saying. And we have the same thing. We have him wandering verbally, really physically, losing his place, snapping at people for simply asking questions. That's not strength. This isn't strategy. It seems like cognitive strain to me. And now we have him becoming openly racist in ways that he, in really more ways than he used to. He used to at least try to hide it. Calling Ilhan Omar garbage, calling Somalia and Somalians garbage. He can disagree with her politics, but describing entire human beings as trash. This is what happens when the filter between the brain and the mouth stops working the way that it used to. And experts have said this for a year now, maybe more. Loss of inhibition is one of the first signs. Dr. Frieda told you about that. Robert Reich said that openly this week in the post that we put up of him. Mike Murphy, political strategist, longtime Politico, said it after the Pennsylvania rally. Even Republican insiders are whispering it. This is not political. This is behavioral. And we have to own up to it. And look at the physical signs. That's why I showed you this stuff. The stiff walk, the listing to one side, the shuffling steps, the freezing, and the glazed look when he is trying to remember where he is on the teleprompter. If you have ever walked behind an aging relative, you know exactly what you are looking at. You've seen it from the people you love, the older folks in your family. Maybe it's your mom, your dad, your uncle, your grandmom. You've seen it. You're like, oh, you're not the same. And they get upset. Look at that. Look, I mean, come on. Now, here's the part that nobody in his circle wants you to think about. Why all the cognitive tests, as we have said? Why 3 dementia screenings? Why imaging? Why the MRIs? Why the bragging about it like it is some achievement? Healthy seniors do not get 3 cognitive tests in 1 year, people. Healthy seniors do not talk about it at rallies. Healthy seniors do not yell at reporters or people that it's treason to even ask about their health and their condition. If you're concerned and you love someone, you ask. And yet this is where we are. The minute the press even mentions his decline, if they do, he explodes. He rants online. He calls it treason. Treason for questioning the health of a 79-year-old president who is visibly struggling. And here's where the reaction becomes just as revealing as the behavior. People online are saying the quiet part out loud because it is impossible not to. Not to see. The Midas Touch said it, that he is unraveling. The Tennessee Holler posted the clip of him swaying and mumbling and snapping at the crowd. We have her on the show. Rachel Bitterkoffer said this is not politics. This is a medical emergency with nuclear consequences. So you can't spin that. You cannot hide that. Once people see what's happening, you can't unsee it. And every time he lashes out, he confirms it. So you guys know it. I have been through it with my grandmother. You have older family members. Have you gone through it with? Many of you have gone through this too. There is a difference between aging and decline. There is a difference between forgetfulness and deterioration. And so where are we now? I'm not going to say we report, you decide. I just gave you the evidence. And evidence means a whole lot. So let's start talking about this. Let's make this the headline. Let's make this the front page news. Let's make this the breaking news. Let's make this the first story on the newscast. Let's talk about the bitterness, the paranoia, the lashing out, the loss of the internal braking system that keeps people from saying the quiet part out loud. And this is what you're seeing with Donald Trump. Cruelty that used to be calculated, at least somewhat, now comes out raw. Racism that used to be coded now comes out naked. And insults that used to be strategic now spill out like a reflex. So he's not just declining. It's not that he's declining while, holding enormous power. He's declining. He is declining while holding enormous power. He's declining while angry, while paranoid, while making decisions that affect millions of lives. And your lives and my life, all of our lives, depend on the mental and physical health of the president of the United States. So let's start talking about this. I hope that I have educated you throughout this almost hour that we have been on. So let me just tell you this. If you want to know anything about the show, you can go to donlemon.com, right? Click on all of it. Guys, I can't impart on you enough to hit the like and the thumbs up. Like and subscribe, become a member of the channel. That's how we stay viable out here. Welcome to all of our new members and to all the folks who understand that. And thank you to all of the supporters and all of the lemon heads who came out last night. And let me just tell you, you guys like the mug. I love the mug. It is on. You can go to donlemon.com and go on the merch site. And I just want to thank some of the people who are out there and who bought who are out there and they're buying and they're the merch and they are supporting Millicent Veltman. Thank you so much. Vanessa Matthews, thank you so much. Vanessa Matthews, Millicent Veltman, and Tracy Myers. Thank you very much. You guys have been asking about the mug. Go to donlemon.com, click on merch. It is a cutie. We love it. So become a member, like and subscribe, spread our channel page around. Also, the ornament is amazing. I think we sold out of ornaments last night, but you can still get them online. They're so cute. Everybody loves them. People were like, I got the last ornament. I got the last glass. It was great. So check out the ornament. It's in our holiday collection. Show them the ornament real quick, Andy. And let me know if you have any more pictures from last night.
I do have a few more.
Okay, what do you have?
In fact, I have an ornament from
Oh,
Edgar.
cutie, look at that. Isn't it? I mean, I have to say that's a cute ornament, even if it wasn't mine. I love it. Nice. Who's that?
This is from Edgar.
Edgar, thank you so much for your support. Look, and it comes in that box, and it's like the perfect gift. You don't even have to wrap it. It's just amazing. What else do we have?
Then we have 2 photos from your event last night. People will recognize Anita, a.k.a. Bug Nita, in the comments.
Hi, Bug Nita. How are you? Cute. Ran up to the stage, and I was like, I got to go because, we have the meet and greet, and I have to get to the meet and greet, and people come up to the stage, and I'm like, all right, hurry up. Turn your camera around. Don't get me in trouble. And the security's like, come on down. Let's go. Thank you. Nice. Thank you for supporting. Who else? Bug Nita.
This is her again with Tim.
With Tim. I know Tim's like, everybody's asking me for selfies. I'm not the famous one. I'm like, well, thank you, Tim. Tim was out there selling the merch last night. He's such a good sport. Anything else? That's it?
That's all.
All right. Thank you guys for your support. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to go jump on the plane. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want you to be informed without being inundated. Also, check us out. Remember, New Year's Eve, if you guys want to check us out, we're going to be in New Orleans. Go to donlemon.com. It's at the top of the page so you can buy tickets. If you want to go, it's going to be great. Click on either one of those places. I'm going to be at both. It's going to be a street party. They're right across the street from each other. Same owners. New Year's Eve in New Orleans. DL saying he's going to be there. So we'll give you some announcement about who's going to be there and what's going on. Also, make sure you spread the word. Stream us. It's going to be lit. October 31st, New Year's Eve. Don Lemon, the Don Lemon Show, the Lemon Nation in New Orleans. Streaming live on YouTube, on Twitch, on Substack, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. Where else are we streaming live? Did I miss one? No? Yes?
I think that's it. Twitch? You get Twitch?
I think you got all of them.
All right. Okay, guys, be informed without being inundated until I see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. Turn the TV off.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.